the Ginger Snap series Month of Horror-WEEN Episode 5. Tonight's movie I'm going to be reviewing is The Mummy. And no, it is not the Brendan Fraser one. It is the 1932 film starring Boris Karloff. The movie depicts a bunch of excavation people pretty much digging up a lot of ancient artifacts, especially in Egypt, and they dig up Imhotep, the bad guy of the whole entire movie. Well, they also dig up a bunch of other things that are cursed, and one of the guys gets a little bit zealous and opens one of the things that contains an envelope or a map of a transcription, and of course awakens Imhotep. Now, of course, in this movie, Imhotep is played by none other than Boris Karloff, fresh right off of Frankenstein, and he is given dialogue in this whole entire movie. Now, of course, he is supposed to be an evil individual who finds out that his long-lost love has been reincarnated and is going to try and kill her or sacrifice her so that she could be reborn as the love of his life, and it just kind of doesn't go very well. With this movie, it was actually my first time ever watching this one, and so it's pretty much a first viewing experience. I've been so attached to the other films of the Universal Monsters, and I honestly have to pretty much say, for a film that, I never really paid too much attention to, it's, not too bad of a film. But of course, I do have just this thing with Boris Karloff's performance in this. I think it has to do with the fact that he had been given dialogue, and I've been so attached to him for so long as Frankenstein, and it just seemed that something was off, and I think it had to do with the fact that he has been given dialogue in this movie. The aging effect for his mummy transformation from being a dead corpse to a living person over an 11-year span, at the time, 1932, makeup effects wasn't, perfected, but for some odd reason, they perfected it very well with Frankenstein. So why did it look a little lackluster here? This is where I believe the Brendan Fraser mummy takes great exception with the effects of how the mummy is brought back to life to going back to a fully human state. In the essence of this whole entire movie, the acting is kind of flat. With everything else going on, with the fact that this is my first viewing, so my opinion could change, but at this moment in time, I have to pretty much, just say it right outright. I felt like this movie was kind of boring. There was actually a few times during the whole duration of this film, I was rather just on my phone or pretty much just, helping my daughter out or anything like that, and it was just like, a movie I'd even bother pausing, I just let it go. But then I'd rewind it and watch what I missed, and yeah, for some odd reason, it just seemed like it was a boring film, which is kind of blasphemy, right? I mean, like, I know there's fans who love this movie, but to me, it's just like, when you've watched Dracula and you've watched Frankenstein, then you get to this, and you're kind of like, I prefer the other two more. Also, another movie from the Universal Monster films that ends abruptly, like pretty much like an ending, like Imhotep's defeated, the woman is safe, the guy hugs the woman, you see the dead body, and then all of a sudden, the end. And it was like, what the fuck? Another one of these? I know in Frankenstein we got a little bit of something else after, like, the monster was defeated, but this one was like, it was like right after. You don't see this in movies, obviously, anymore, but for some odd reason, it boggles my mind that it had an anticlimactic ending, and I'm like, this is the third film that has done this now. And I get it, it's in the infancy stages of cinema, especially for Universal, to pretty much, establish an ending for a movie, right? I mean, like, all monsters had to die at the end of every fucking movie, so I understand that, but at the same time, to me, it's just like, that's probably the worst fucking abrupt ending that I've seen of the Universal Monsters. For my rating of this movie, I sadly have to give it, The Mummy, a 5 out of 10. The reason why I give it a 5 out of 10 is because I understand the significance of it. I mean, Boris Karloff was given two of the most unique Universal monsters to star as, and I feel like he gets more attention with Frankenstein than he does with the Mummy, Imhotep. But at the same time, there's a reason for that. He has more acting chops as Frankenstein, and when it came to actual dialogue and being a character with Imhotep, it just felt flat. The characters, obviously, as well, are just, generic in this way. Like, I know, like, we've seen better characters with Frankenstein and Dracula, like I've reviewed already. But this one is just, the characters felt a lot more flat. And, I mean, like, I have to say it, the dialogue is very much boring in this movie. But I do have to give props to Boris Karloff, trying to do a good job. And of course, the significance of this movie is, it's a timeless movie, but also at the same time, I feel like it's another movie I have to watch again to maybe bump up that rating. But yeah, as of right now, The Mummy from 1932 gets a 5 out of 10. What do you guys think of this movie? Is it one of those classics that you constantly go and watch around this time of year, or is it one of the movies that you kind of push aside to make room for the other ones? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, make sure you hit thumbs up if you like this video and also subscribe for more spooky content this month. Other than that, that's it for me, guys. This has been the Ginger Snap Series Month of Horror-WEEN episode 5. My name is Steven, and I will check you guys out later.